We have some brand new Warhammer 40,000 lore. This is all taken from the brand new 500 World campaign book, and it's all about the Ordo Astartes, and they have Guilliman in their sight. They're gunning for Guilliman with his latest campaign in the 500 Worlds. Could this be setting up something a lot more spicier between the Inquisition and the returning Primarchs? I personally think it is. So let's jump in, let's look at it, let's talk about it, let's speculate, let's theorize about all of this, because this is getting spicier. Now, just before we jump into that brand new piece of text, let me briefly explain what the Ordo Astartes is. It is an Ordo, a part of the Inquisition. They're not as big as the Xenos, the Malleus, or the Hereticus. Apparently, they have around 50 Inquisitors in their Ordo, and they're tasked to watch over the Adeptus Astartes. So, for example, if there's been some type of rumors around a certain Space Marine chapter that have been doing some chaos shenanigans, they're sent out to investigate it. If they find out that, of course, that chapter has been doing chaos shenanigans, they can excommunicate a Traitoris that chapter, get rid of them from the Imperium, destroy them from the Imperium. But like I said, they're not as big as the other Ordos. They have around 50 Inquisitors, which means they probably don't have a lot of firepower to take on the Adeptus Astartes, or should I say an Adeptus Astartes chapter, but they still have the power over them. I'm not sure where this is leading, but let's get the text in the background, because it is getting very, very spicy now with Guilliman and the Ordo Astartes. So in the background is the text right now, and as you can see, transmission detected. Cypher, Inquisitorial, 36.10, Ordo Astartes, clearance Vermilion, which is one of the highest clearances, and it states, "You were right about Numerous," hopefully I've said that right. "It irks me to admit it. Even along so secure of a channel as this, I was so sure this time. So sure I have the evidence for the greatest transgression of the chapters since the Scouring. It is another failure to add to the others. I've amassed a trail of signal data from the invasion of the Typh at Evandor, ready to be connected to the Doom Eagles, only for the perpetrator to be a sickening governor and her unholy family of corpse eaters. I have the diversion of selected mutants at simpler dockyards ready to prosecute, everything pointing at the so-called Ultramar Defense Auxiliary, when I find out Jastar of the Ordo Xenos ready to pounce on a gene stealer cult at the heart of the matter." Now, this is where it gets spicy. "I know, as the God Emperor is my witness, that this massing of strength by the Lord Commander of this so-called reclamation is the unholiest and most subversive seizure of power the Imperium has known since Vandire's reign. I will find it," redacted. Redacted is the guy's name he's speaking to. "You can be sure if I have to execute every demon worshipper, burn every witch, and call the last Xenos to clear these impediments obscuring the picture, I will show the galaxy what Guilliman has been hiding. I will show everyone what he is." Now, as I've been saying for a while now, since the return of the Primarchs, the Inquisition has begun to lose its power. The reason I say this, right, because when you have a son of someone you call a god, the God Emperor, return, people are going to put their power, their faith, their backing in that individual. I put it towards you. If Guilliman was standing in front of you and an Inquisitor was standing in front of you and both asked them who to choose, who would you choose? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be Guilliman. It's got to be the son of the Emperor. And the Inquisition, of course, don't like this because they're losing their power to another individual, especially now when even more Primarchs are coming back, which we'll talk about in just a second, with a lion and a Lord Inquisitor that's hunting, well, I say hunting, well, he could be hunting him, but he's tracking down the lion. So the Inquisition is kind of being affected now by the return of Guilliman and his current power situation in the Imperium. It's actually, there's been kind of a secret war between the Inquisition and the forces of Guilliman for a while now, since the Dark Imperium books, because Guilliman reactivated something called the Historiators, and he's been sending them out to collect information about what's been going on for the past 10,000 years, to collect information what's going on now during the new Indomitus Crusades, Indomitus Crusades, I can't even bloody say it, but the Inquisition don't like that, because they don't like information being gathered because of all the shenanigans they've been doing for the past 10,000 years. So they've been secretly executing, hunting down, and killing these historiators. So there's kind of been a shadow secret war going on already between the Inquisition and the forces of Guilliman. And maybe this now is something where it's going to explode and overlap, and we're going to see something else. Obviously, what that chap's saying there, K, what I don't know his full name, but he's not happy with what Guilliman's doing, getting all these forces back to retake the 500 worlds. We've actually spoke about this a bit. It is kind of a big statement from Guilliman to say, okay, I'm going to reclaim the 500 worlds, take back the worlds that were lost, make it bigger and better. As always, that was one of the big debates back in the day of the Horus Heresy, the Great Crusade, is Guilliman's power base, his own little empire outside the empire of the Imperium. Was he planning to do something? Is he planning to do something? There's a lot of stuff that's going on in the Scouring right now, which I don't, agree with Guilliman. I made my video about that. A lot of people are blind to what Guilliman's doing, right? You're just ignoring what he's doing. But yes, I can see where the Ordo Astartes are coming from, but did they have a chance fighting against Guilliman and the Crusades that he's put together? I absolutely don't think so. I know a lot of people are going to say, is this going to be a Civil War 2.0 and stuff like that? Absolutely no chance. I don't see that happening at all. It's just the Inquisition. They're losing their power in the greatest scheme of things, because it's all a big Game of Thrones, all right? That's all it is. It's a big game of politics. And they're losing a bit of their power base because the Primarchs are coming back, and they don't like it. Now, there's a line of that text that really does stand out for me, and I think this is the direction they may be going in. That Inquisitor said he wants to find out Guilliman's secrets. I'm sure a lot of you saying that Guilliman has no secrets. Well, he does. He has a big secret, and it's called the Imperium Secundus. This is when the Guilliman set up his own Imperium when he thought the Emperor was dead. He made Sanguinius like the Emperor and stuff like that. He thought the Imperium was gone, so he made his own, which was massively heretical at the time. Now, what does that mean in Warhammer 40,000? Well, in the new books, the Dark Imperium books, one of those historiators that I said that Guilliman set up was actually guided to a certain book area on Ultramar with the influence of a Nurgle demon, and he found the records of Imperium Secundus. And he's got that book now, and he's starting to read it. So I personally think this information could start leaking out in Warhammer 40,000, and that can turn a lot of heads against Guilliman. Oh, he's already started to set up his empire before. What if this is the second empire he wants to do? What if he wants to do a new Imperium away from the Emperor? He's already proclaimed someone else as the Emperor. Why can't he do that again? Do you know what I mean? It could be setting that type of story up. I'm not sure GW will do that, but I think this is kind of the area they could go into if they had the balls to do it anyway, and really get a lot of people that were on Guilliman's side to start looking at Guilliman in a different light. I don't know. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Maybe I'm going absolutely insane. Now, as I mentioned at the start of the video, it's not just Guilliman that the Inquisition are actually intrigued in, that they're actually interested in. Lord Inquisitor Cortiaz, you know, the guy who's just got like the fat belly armor, the new model and stuff. I'll try and put his model up in the background right now. In the Arcs of Omen book, he has activated every Imperial agent under his command. Again, this guy is a Lord Inquisitor, so he has a lot of, he has the ultimate power. I think he's the most powerful person in the Inquisition, apart from like, in the Imperium, I would say, apart from an Adeptus Custodian, because of course they don't answer to the Inquisition, and the Inquisition don't answer to them, kind of thing. But what I'm trying to say is that this person has a lot of power, and he's activated all his agents, and he's looking for the evidence of the Lion's return. He's activated his fleet, he's out there looking for the Lion, and we all know the Lion has now sent a message to Guilliman saying, brother, we need to talk. So I'm wondering what could happen if the Lion and Guilliman do meet. How is the Inquisition gotta view this? Are they gonna say like, oh my holy emperor, the meeting, they're all getting together, the loyalist Primarchs, power upon power upon power versus our power, two loyalist sons of the emperor working together? Where does that leave us? What in the emperor's name is gonna happen to us? Is this our time? And like, are they gonna do something? It's getting very, very interesting now, very, very intriguing to see where this goes. I do think all these side quests, these side stories are all starting to come together, and I'm very, very interested to see where it bloody goes. Anyway, that is enough waffling for me. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching as always. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that, post it down below. If anyone wants me to do the full lore breakdown of this, like the Marines versus the Necrons, I will do that. I am going to do a video on the weekend about the other Xenos factions involved in the 500 Worlds. Confirmed that there's Tyranids in there, which could bring in the Red Terror model that we've been whispering about. There's Orcs in there as well. So yes, Orc shenanigans, Tyranid shenanigans in the 500 Worlds. It's just not Necron related. But yeah, let me know down below and I'll get those videos out for you ASAP. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching as always. Again, post your thoughts, feedback and everything like that down below. I'm going to have a nice little chin wag down there. See ya. Have a great day, evening, night, way around the world. And bye-bye.